No food for Randy. Where's the whiskey? I asked. Don pointed to a recessed cabinet I hadn't noticed before. I got up and pulled out a bottle. Got a plastic cup and poured it full. Sat it in front of Randy's door. I brought a chair into the hall and got another pad of paper and a pen. Knocked on his door. Assume the position, Randy. Okay. Hey, nobody's at the hatch. Don't worry. I'm going to take your word for it. Are you in position? Yeah. I unlocked both the upper and lower locks and swung the door fully open until the magnet caught the handle and held it in place. Held the pistol in one hand and the cup in the other. Sat the cup at the edge of the bed's platform. Whiskey. Enjoy. He looked at the cup and then at me. What's going on? You did a great job telling Amanda's story. Now, you and I are going to have a chat. And then you will be free. It's almost over then? The hope in his eyes was a pitiful thing to see. Yes, Randy, it's almost over. Amanda can go home and, after all, that was mostly why I am here. Mostly? Yeah, I mean, while you're at it, you've done a really good job of writing those other 50 pages of your situations you've been involved in, but after a while they pretty much are the same story. Wouldn't you agree? Well, he thought about it a second or two and nodded. Agreed. So there really is no reason to give all the details. If you'll... At that, I threw the pad and pen. Put dates, places, and names, if you remember, on this pad. Then we should be done here. He grinned. All right, thank goodness. Go on, drink up. Enjoy. You've earned it. He slugged it down and shuddered. I heard him smack his lips in appreciation. Good stuff. Another? I held up the bottle. Yes, please. I held the gun on him, and he held out his cup at arm's length. I filled up the cup a second time. He drank it halfway down by the time I was sitting in my chair again. He kept his eyes closed, savoring the warmth of it through his body and into his limbs. He opened his eyes and looked at the half-empty cup, then at me. Thank you. I've needed this. I'm sure. So, I picked up the sheaves of paper and saw where he left off in his timeline and asked him to continue. He did. I kept filling the glass periodically. Not too much he couldn't write, but enough he couldn't lie. It took us a couple of hours, and he threw the pad of paper to the floor in front of me. I poured him another glass. He sat back and sipped. I read through the list and I said, Randy, we seem to have forgotten a few people. He looked at me, not comprehending my statement. What do you mean, forgotten some people? You remember your wife? He hit his forehead with the flat of his palm. Oh, yeah. Damn, how could I forget her? When was that, and what was her name? He told me, and I wrote it. So, Randy, what about her son, Randy the Fourth? Oh, yeah. Hadn't thought about him since I don't know when. What was his name, Randy? His name? Yes, Randy, his name. Randall S. Penniman IV. I filled his glass again and sat down. For grins and giggles here, Randy, how exactly did you kill him? Randy hung his head and said, I'm so ashamed. I'm sure you are, Randy. How'd you do it? Randy gave me a look that only alcohol can induce. One that says, hey, I know you've given me this drink to make me talk, and I don't want to talk, and I don't want to think about this thing, but damn you, the alcohol is making my tongue wag. And it wagged with a horrifying tail. I buried him alive with his dead mother. I stared at him hard. He said, I couldn't bring myself to actually kill him with my bare hands. I couldn't. I cried when I covered him up. I did. I cried hard, but... Don, can you bring me a cup of coffee, please? Sure, Ben. I didn't talk to or look at Randy until I drank half my coffee. I set the cup down. Randy was looking at me with all the meanness he could muster. He slurred, "Why'd you make me tell you?" "I had to know, Randy, you understand." He nodded. "So, Randy, what about the men?" "What men?" On this one he truly seemed oblivious. "The men, Randy, that dug the graves for you out there in the field in Nebraska." "You mean the illegals?" He said illegals like they were nothing. "Yes, Randy. The men, brothers, fathers, sons, uncles, nephews who were in the U.S. illegally and had the misfortune to come work for you and die for their troubles. The illegals, you fucker. What about them?"